Shalom, Shalom. The title of this lesson is The Identity of the Two Witnesses. This lesson is going to be stemmed around Revelations, the 11th chapter. Lord willing, this is edifying and straight to the point. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakak, Kodash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. Almighty Shalom to the hopeful elect that are scattered four corners of the earth in the same spirit, Lord willing, as a whole, that y'all continue in sound doctrine. Shalom to the Akwaf, the sisters of this faith and this truth. Lord willing, you continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord willing, Yahweh Shema Shai has mercy on the other brothers and sisters. That's not the faith. So who are the witnesses? Going straight to the point, it is synonymous with Judah and Ephraim, the southern and northern kingdom. When you read Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, the kingdoms are broken. They're not as one kingdom until Yahushua returns. So it's Judah and Ephraim. Let's get into it. This is Revelations, the 11th chapter. We see at the top it says, the two witnesses. And I'm going to just start at verse 3. It says, and I will give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,203 score days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the two olive trees and the two candlesticks standing before the Most High of the earth. Now, just saying, it's not just Judah and Ephraim prophesying, but the southern and northern kingdom is prophesying in the earth. Okay? They shall prophesy 1,203 score days. It's the men of the Lord out of the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay? So let's go to the points that I highlighted. Zechariah, the 4th chapter, and I'm going to do my best to read all the way down to 14. So this is Zechariah chapter 4, verse 1. You see the top, it says the golden lampstand and the olive trees. It says the angel that talked with me came again and waked me, as a man that is wakened out of his sleep, and said unto me, what seest thou? And I said, I have looked, and behold, a candlestick of gold with a bowl upon the top of it, and his 7 lamps thereon, and 7 pipes to the 7 lamps, which are upon the top thereof. And the 2 olive trees by it, one upon the right side of the bowl, and the other upon the left side thereof. So I answered and spake to the angel that talked with me, saying, what are these, my Lord? Then the angel that talked with me answered and said unto me, knowest thou not what these be? And I said, no, my Lord. Then he answered and spake unto me, saying, this is the word of Yahweh unto Zerubbabel, saying, not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, saith Yahweh of hosts. Who art thou, O great mountain? Before Zerubbabel thou shalt become a plain, and he shall bring forth the headstone thereof with shouting, crying, grace, grace unto it. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, the hand of Zerubbabel have led the fountain of his house. His hands shall also finish it, and thou shalt know that Yahweh of hosts have sent me unto you. For who have despised the day of small things? For they shall rejoice and shall see the palment in the hand of Zerubbabel. With those 7, they are the eyes of Yahweh, which run to and fro through the whole earth. Then answered I and said unto him, what are these 2 olive trees upon the right side of the candlestick and upon the left side thereof? And I answered again and said unto him, what are these 2 olive branches, which through the 2 golden pipes emptied the golden oil out on themselves? And he answered me and said, knowest thou not what these be? And I said, no, my Lord. Then said he, these are the two anointed ones that stand by Yahweh Shemar Shai of all the earth. And it's really speaking about, prophets, right? The men of the Lord, right? Because when we go back to Revelations 11, we're going to read verse 3 again, and let's read down to 6. It says, and I will have power unto my two witnesses. So this is about the two witnesses. And they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the two olive trees and the two candlesticks standing before the Most High of the earth. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth. What is that? They're prophesying, right? Jeremiah 20:9. Right, he said he wasn't going to prophesy in the name of the Father, and the fire came into him. Right, when you go to Psalms 104, verse 4, it says that the angels are a spirit and the ministers are a flame of fire. In devouring their enemies, if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. And how are we devouring our enemies? Now that we're standing in great boldness, we're teaching and revealing who the adversary is. Verse 6, these have power to shut heaven. This is synonymous with Elijah. So these same prophets is going to have the ability to shut heaven where it won't rain, that it rain not in the days of their prophecy, and have power over waters to turn them into blood. This is synonymous with Moses, who turned water to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. The same as Moses. This is speaking about the prophets, right? Just like how Yahweh Shai said, we're going to do greater works than him, right? So when we drop down, which Lord willing, I'm going to continue doing a lesson throughout these days, Lord willing, going into Revelations 11 and dealing with points, right, to show you how much important it is to understand Revelations, the 11th chapter, truly verse 8 to 11, right, to understand how do you know you have the Ruach HaKodesh if you don't understand what is actually going on, and how do we get into a time of getting this truth, okay? So let's get back on track. Lord willing, what I said intrigues you to continue to be at watch, to see to continue the parts of this chapter, okay? So dropping down, I want to get to the point. So when you go to verse 10, it says, and they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, which is all the other nations, starting with Esau. They're rejoicing because verse 8, we are in a dead estate. No wisdom, no knowledge, or understanding. We're in a depression, oppression state of mind, right? Our necks is under persecution. We have no rest. And make merry, and shall send gift one to another, which we know in slave trade, they were trading one of us, right? But you could look at other gifts that they given one another, right? Because now they're conquering the world. Going back to verse 7. Okay, who is the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit and made war against them and shall overcome them and kill them? This follows with Revelations 13, Revelation 17, Revelation 18, Revelations 20. Okay, so the last point, it says, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell upon the earth. How did these prophets tormented this beast, or how did they torment all the nations on the earth, right? And the two prophets is synonymous with what we read in verse 3 all the way to 6. These are the two witnesses, right? And it's symbolic to the 12 tribes of Israel, because Judah and Ephraim are not the only prophets. It's prophets throughout the whole 12 tribes, okay? It's just Judah is the head of the southern and Ephraim is the head of the north. Now, I wanted to get something just to show how do we torment the nations. So let's go to the book. I just want to put it right in the coffin. You go to Judith, the 5th chapter, verse 17 down. It says, while they sinned not before their power, they prospered, because the Most High that hateth iniquity was with them. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles, very sore, and were led captives into a land that was not theirs. And the temple of their power was cast into the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemies. But now are they returned to their power, and are come up from the places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, and this is, a Syrian speaking to a Syrian, I believe, I forgot his name, he's speaking to Holofernes. If there be any error against this people, and they sin against their power, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them. But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, and their power before them, and we become a reproach before all the world. So this is how we tormented them when we're actually not in error, and we're actually turned to Yahweh B'Shem Al-Shai and humbled, right? The nations are under our subjection, and Yahweh B'Shem Al-Shai is with us, right? Because if you read, when we go back to Joshua, right, Judges, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, when we were in order with Yahweh B'Shem Al-Shai, a nation could not come against us. And when we actually go to Revelations, the 11th chapter, is really going even directed towards that beast, which I'm going to be a spoiler alert. That beast is the Roman Empire. So when David and Solomon had their rule, all the Edomites was in subjection. When Solomon fell, and of course because of the sin, the kingdom was divided to Jeroboam and Rehoboam. And, of course that broke our strength because, future-wise, Jake started to go off, right? And we're going to see that because we're going to go to Jeremiah 11th chapter, okay? I don't want to spoil too much for you, but just to show proof, the two witnesses, the two olive branches, is synonymous with the nation of Israel, but it's really just direct. The two prophets is Judah and Ephraim, synonymous with the southern and northern kingdom, fulfilling Ezekiel the 37th chapter. So now let's go to Jeremiah 11. Lord willing, y'all paying attention to the words that I'm using. So I'm gonna do my best. We gonna read this point. This is Jeremiah chapter 11, verse 1. You see the top, the broken covenant. This is going to actually line up with Romans later on, but we're just gonna bring this out now. So this is Jeremiah 11, verse 1. The word that came to Jeremiah from Yahweh, saying, hear ye the words of this covenant, and speak unto the people of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And say thou unto them, thus saith Yahweh, power of Israel, cursed be the man that obeyeth not the words of this covenant, which I commanded your fathers in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt. What people was brought out of Egypt? Not just the southern kingdom, not just the northern kingdom, the whole 12 tribes. That's plain an example to know who he's speaking about. From the iron furnace, saying, obey my voice and do them according to all which I command you. So shall ye be my people, and I will be your power, that I may perform the oath which I have sworn unto your fathers, to give them a land flowing with milk and honey, as it is this day. Then answered I and said, so be it, O Yahweh. Then Yahweh said unto me, proclaim all these words in the city of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem, saying, hear ye the words of this covenant, and do them. For I earnestly protest unto your fathers in the day that I brought them up out of the land of Egypt, even unto this day, rising early and protesting, saying, obey my voice. Yet they obeyed not, nor inclined their ear, but walked every one in imagination of their evil heart. Therefore I will bring upon them all the words of this covenant, which I commanded them to do, but they did them not. Right? And we started getting effect with these curses. It says, then Yahweh said unto me, a conspiracy is found among the men of Judah and among the inhabitants of Jerusalem, synonymous southern and northern kingdom. They are turned back to the iniquities of their forefathers, which refused to hear my words, and they went after other gods to serve them. First, the northern kingdom, the house of Israel and the house of Judah have broken my covenant, which I made with their fathers. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will bring evil upon them, which they shall not be able to escape, and though they shall cry unto me, I will not hearken unto them. Right? The Lord judged us 7 times more for our sins, what we see in Leviticus. Then shall the cities of Judah and inhabitants of Jerusalem go and cry unto the gods unto whom they offer incense, but they shall not save them at all in the time of their trouble. For according to the number of thy cities were thy gods, O Judah, and according to the number of the streets of Jerusalem have ye set up altars to that shameful thing, even altars to burn incense unto Baal. Therefore pray not thou for this people, neither lift up a cry or a prayer for them, for I will not hear them in the time that they cry unto me for their trouble. What have my beloved to do in my house, seeing she have wrought lewdness with many, and the holy flesh is passed from thee? And when thou doest evil, then thou rejoicest, and Yahweh called thy name a green olive tree, fair and of goodly fruit. With the noise of a great tumult, he hath kindled fire upon it, and the branches of it are broken off. Right? Because of the wickedness, those that are wicked were broken off. Right? Just like synonymous, like when we look at Ezekiel 9:4, when they was about to siege Israel, the Lord told them, those that sigh and cry, first time with the prophets, those believers, put a thawah, a mark on their forehead, right? A mark of exemption, so they wouldn't be touched. And the rest of them, let them be slain from old to young, man or woman, okay? But verse 17, it says, for Yahweh of hosts that planted thee have pronounced evil against thee, for the evil of the house of Israel and the house of Judah, which they have done against themselves to provoke me to anger, in offering incense unto Baal. And guess what? We all were cut off, because being in this flesh, we all, are filthy to sin. So Ezekiel 21:4, seeing then that I will cut off from thee the righteous and the wicked, therefore shall my sword go forth out of his sheath against all flesh from the south and to the north. Yeah, Ezekiel was the first captive in Babylon, but he was a man of the Lord. So even the righteous and the wicked get cut off, and we're all in a predicament of that judgment. Nobody's better. As a nation, the Lord afflicts us all, right? When Achan in Judges 6 or 7, right, he coveted a Babylonian garment and 50 shekels of silver and gold and put it in his tent. The Lord didn't let him die by himself. His children and his belongings got stoned and got torched with fire. And I believe they called the land Gilgal. Okay? So the Lord judges all, right? For one man's sin, we're all judged. Look at Adam. What Eve did, we're all pointed to death. It's Isaiah 43:10. I'm gonna start at 8. You see the top. Israel is the Most High's witness. And I believe I'm going to read verse 10 in the NLT too. It says, bring forth the blind people that have eyes, and the deaf that have ears. Let all the nations be gathered together, and let the people be assembled. Who among them can declare this and show us former things? Let them bring forth their witnesses, let that they may be justified, and let them hear and say, it is truth. Ye are my witnesses, saith Yahweh, and my servant whom I have chosen, that ye may know and believe me, and understand that I am he. Before me there was no Elohim formed, neither should it be after, right? This is not taken away from Yahweh Shai. Yahweh, he said, understand that I am he. Before me there was no God formed. right? Yahweh is the only one that exists. He exists. He to be. Yahweh did not get created. Ain't nothing before him. Everything outside of Yahweh, after him, which we will start with Yahweh Shai, was created. So no power Elohim is beside him. Not speaking of the angels or Yahweh Shai. We're speaking of there is no Most High. There is no He is next to him or before him. Okay? But how are we going to know and understand? Because the Lord is going to reveal this to his prophets. Right? Now, let me just read this in the NLT real quick. But you are my witness, O Israel, says Yahweh. You are my servant. You have been chosen to know me, believe in me, and understand that I alone am Elohim. There is no other power. There never has been, and there never will be. Right? All things exist because of Yahweh. But the point is, it said Israel is his servant. What is a servant? A servant was the prophets. So these secrets that's revealed unto us, let's go to Amos real quick, just real quick. Amos 3. I believe this is the one we want in the NLT. Amos 3:7 in the NLT. Indeed, the sovereign Yahweh never does anything until he reveals his plans to his servants, the prophets. So when we look at the two witnesses, is Judah and Benjamin, but synonymous, the secret code or the understanding, right? It just goes towards the prophets, right? And the prophets is throughout the 12 tribes of Israel that the Lord sent out to teach the word 4 quarters of the earth. When you fully understand Revelations, the 11th chapter. So now let's go to Hosea chapter 1 and let's read 10 and 11. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, which is in Babylon the Great, America, there it shall be said unto them, ye are not the sons of the living God. Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land. For great shall be the day of Jezreel. Now, how are they being gathered? They're being gathered by the truth, by teaching, right? Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, right, 1-14, Ezekiel was speaking life unto them. But Ezekiel is synonymous with the prophets in today's time when you fully understand Revelations 11, verse 8 to 11. They're standing on their feet. They're gathering the elect, okay? And we're going to appoint ourselves ahead. How? Because we're understanding the scriptures, who Yahweh is and who his son is, Yahweh Shai. In Baruch chapter 2, verse 30 and 31. In the land of our captivities, we shall remember who we are. How? By teaching. And let me just get this. We're about to end shortly. Romans chapter 10. And I'm going to try to make this quicker. And I'm going to read this in the NLT. Romans 10:14. It says, but how can they call on him to save them unless they believe in him? And how can they believe in him if they have never heard about him? And how can they hear about him unless someone tells them? So these witnesses are telling the people of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, right? And how will anyone go and tell them without being sent? We see the prophecy in Revelations 11 that what John the Revelator is seeing, that they're going to get the breath of life, right? And when you got the breath of life, you're going to do what Jeremiah did. You're going to do what Isaiah did. You're going to do what Moses did. You're going to do what the apostles did. You're going to do what the prophets do, right? Jeremiah 28:8. We're going to prophesy against kingdoms, nations, pestilence, war, and evil, right? And prophesy the coming of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That is why the scriptures say how beautiful are the feet of the messengers going into like angels or representatives who bring good news. But not everyone welcomes the good news. For Isaiah the prophet said, Yahweh, who has believed our message? Isaiah is speaking on behalf of the prophets, because John paved the way. All the prophets before spoke of the law and prophesied of Yahushua. 17. So faith comes from hearing, that is, hearing the good news about a Mashiach. So this is how what we read in Hosea 1 and 11, how they're going to appoint a head. When you read Ezekiel 37, Yahushua is going to be that head. When you get that breath of life, we're going to know who our Savior and our Redeemer is. We're going to know the role of Yahushua by the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Verse 18. But I asked, have the people of Israel actually heard the message? Yes, they have. The message has gone throughout the earth in the words to all the world. Now that brothers is getting that breath of life, let's go to Revelations 11. And in other lessons, we're going to keep bringing out these verses in Revelations 11 so that it can stick. Now, verse 11. And after 3 days and a half, which is 350 years, this time started in 1969, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. And that's the elites. Oh, they got this truth. Through the spirit, you don't hear the elite say anything. No, they're going to keep pushing their bullshit. Revelations 12 and 12. Now that they see us getting this truth, the Lord is moving. They see UFOs or chariots of the Lord. They're getting scared. So all this stuff is getting implemented. They're doing this, the MOTB, the digital, all things is being pushed by the elites because they seeing that we're waking up. Right? This is a key information for you to even know the time that you in is for you to understand prophecy. Let's just get this in Revelations 19:10, and then we're gonna bring out the last precept. It says, and I fell at his feet to worship him. This is John the Revelator falling at the feet of an angel, and said unto him, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua. Worship the Most High, right? Obey, right? Pray, bow to Yahweh Shai. For the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. So this is the spirit that we're in right now, dealing with prophecy of how we got to where we at right now. Why is it important to know who the two witnesses is? Why is it important to know of, in verse 8, who is that in a dead estate? If that's not all the other nations, then who is it? It is the Israelites. So that's going to take away from any nation getting salvation, because if you get in salvation, you have to get the first installment. And we see Revelation 11:11, they're getting the breath of life. So let me just get this. I'm getting excited, so I'm bringing out more precepts. This is Ephesians chapter 1, verse 14, which is the earnest of our inheritance unto the redemption of the purchased possession, unto the praise of his glory. Now let's look at this in the Amplified, or is it NLT? No, in the Amplified. Right here. It says the Spirit is the guarantee, the first installment, the pledge, a foretaste of our inheritance into the redemption of the Most High's own purchase, possession, his believers, to the praise of his glory. So the first installment to those that are predestined is the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, just like you see in the book of Acts, just like you see in the book of Acts, and other believers started to get the Ruach HaKodesh. That is the indicator of knowing who is the people that the Lord is speaking about, because as soon as you know the witnesses, you know the people that he is speaking about. Okay, so let's get this last one and then we'll close. So this is Romans, the 9th chapter, in verse 25. As he saith also to Hosea, but it's Hosea, I will call them my people, which are not my people, and her beloved, which was not my beloved. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living God. Isis, Isis, which is Isaiah, Salaki if I'm pronouncing it a little incorrect. Isaiah also crieth concerning Israel, though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, a remnant shall be saved. This is not speaking about another nation, and then it hops to speaking about Israel being the sand of the sea, and a remnant shall be saved. Guess what? It's the remnant out of Israel that's going to be saved. Where is it anywhere that the other nations are part of this remnant? Because again, the remnant have to get the breath of life. Okay? Said this was the last one. Acts, the remnant is going to be, this pertains to the elect. Acts 4 and 12. Neither is there salvation in any other nation, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. What name is that? Right? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And now we're going to get back to that pure language, and we're going to say the Father's name and the Son's name. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. 2nd Ezra 3 and 34. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai's name is only found in Israel. Go look it up. 2nd Ezra chapter 3 verse 34. Plain and simple. If it's all these names of the Most High and the Son all in the earth, you only see Black, Latino, Hispanics, and Native Americans saying Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Not Yahuwah, not Yeshua, not Yah, not Jah, not Jesus, Lord and God. It's multiple nations saying those, but not multiple nations is saying Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Multiple nations are not prophesying on the highways and byways in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So that should give you a strong indicator. So the two witnesses is Judah and Ephraim, synonymous with the prophets. With that, Lord willing, this is edifying. Again, the title of this lesson, the identity of the two witnesses. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. A mighty shalom to the hopeful elect, scattered four corners of the earth. Lord willing, that they continue all in sound doctrine. Shalom to the Akwaf, believers of His faith and His truth. Lord willing, you continue to pursue your lot. And Lord willing, Yahweh Shemashai has mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. Shalom, shalom, ababa.